Yo, what is going on, guys? Bruin Steel here, and welcome back to finally, we are back for my 2024-2025 Pittsburgh Steelers NFL season post-game videos, and I am recapping Week 1, which happened today at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and the Pittsburgh Steelers get the job done 18-10. The Pittsburgh Steelers defeat the Atlanta Falcons 18-10, and wow, all I can say is Chris Boswell, you're the MVP in this game, but we end up getting the win, but I'm not satisfied because come on, man, it's like field goal after field goal. This team just couldn't get a touchdown in the end zone. Like this team couldn't get a touchdown at all. It was just field goals. And as soon as I saw this, you know what this game reminds me of? That's just 2017 when we hit just field goals to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the division game. That's basically what that game was, except it's 18-10 instead of 18-16. But we're back, baby. I got the terrible towel right here. Let's go, baby. Terrible towel. But just want to talk about this game. Like I said, I had kind of had work. I was at work, so I couldn't really watch the game. But I heard that there were so many bad calls by the referees, and I watched some of the highlights. But the big story is the quarterback situation in this game is Russell Wilson didn't start. I think he was out. Apparently it was an injury. So I didn't know the full extent. So here comes Justin Fields. And I'm not like that type of person. I said this like maybe just once on my channel. But I'm not a big fan of Justin Fields, to be honest, ever since he was on the Bears. But let's just say this. Justin Fields played mediocre, or whatever, maybe like a little bit below average or whatever. Let's just say this. He had some great plays today. But man, we couldn't get anything in the red zone. It's just field goals. Look, Justin Fields, he has some great throws to George Pickens, man. George Pickens went ball. George Pickens had some amazing catches. George Pickens had 6 receptions, 85 yards, by the way. But on top of that, he had this amazing catch. But he stepped out of bounds, and then he had another catch. But unfortunately, it went back because it was pass interference or interference call or whatever. And then it was just so many bad calls. Like I said, I didn't really watch the game. I don't know the extent to these bad calls, but I know that, DJ Watt was in an illegal formation or something like that. By the way, DJ Watt, baby. DJ Watt played a great game, forcing a fumble on, Kirk Cousins, and that's what the defense did. The defense, Steelers fans, you agree with me that the defense actually was a problem throughout the years, and the defense actually gave Kirk Cousins some issues today. So that was great to see the defense stepping up despite the offense only scoring 18 points. That's pretty much the special teams, but 18-10, it was. Let's just say Chris Boswell was the best. Chris Boswell deserved the MVP in this game. And 4 of those kicks that Chris Boswell hit was like over 50 yards. Like, it was insane. Like, holy moly. It was great. Like, honestly, it was great. But, come on, get a touchdown. We had opportunities to get a touchdown, but we just couldn't capitalize. I remember in the second half, I saw highlights. In the second half, we were going for it on 4th and 1, and then I think Justin Fields failed a quarterback sneak or something like that. But looking at the other stats, George Pickens, like I said, he had 6 receptions, 85 yards. It was great that it would have been great if he landed those catches. Well, technically he did. One was like an interference call. The other one, he just stepped out of bounds. Pat McAfee had 4 receptions, 27 yards. Jalen Warren, 2 receptions, 13. Michael Pruitt had 1 reception, 9 yards. And Najee Harris, 1 reception, 9 yards. Calvin Austin III was a little quiet, 1 reception, 7 yards. Darnell Washington had 1 reception, 5 yards. And in terms, like I said, the defense played great. I thought the defense played well. And all I can say is kudos to DJ Watt, forcing. He had one sack today, forcing a strip sack. Montravis Adams had a sack today. And we had two interceptions on Kirk Cousins. The first one by Deshaun Elliott. And the second one, I think it was pretty much the game-winning interception on Kirk Cousins. Dante Jackson. So great to see those guys making plays. But man, it was okay. But then the Falcons, looking at the Falcons, they were making some plays all over the place, especially Biden Robinson, who had 18 carries, 68 yards. By the way, Najee Harris, he had 20 carries, 70 yards, so you can see the comparison here. Robinson for the Falcons had 18 carries, 68 yards. Receiving, or Ray McLeod had 4 receptions and 52 yards. He had some great catches. I think at one point Kirk Cousins was making a play and he kind of stumbled, but he was able to get it to Ray McLeod. Props to that play. Props to the Falcons for that play. We got Bijan Robinson. He had 5 receptions, 43 yards. And Kyle Pitts, man. Kyle Pitts just completely shredded the defense. It was zone coverage or whatever. But man, it just Kirk Cousins throws the ball into the end zone. Why the fuck open? Just Kyle Pitts just alone in the end zone, like. And then it's just, that's it. You go up, they go up 10-6 or something, and for the Steelers, it's just nonstop, field goals and stuff. Nonstop field goals, shit like that. So, looking at the defense, it was Grady Jarrett with half a sack. And look, I give my condolence where it's due. Look, like I said before, Justin Fields, but he did okay. He loves using his legs. That's his, go-to, athleticism, using his legs, But man, he just I have to say this, Justin Fields, he just holds on to the fucking ball too long. It's just that's just that. And then it just make the goddamn good decisions, can you? But it's that's just that. Justin Fields, man, if I had to give him a rating, probably a C or something, but it wasn't pretty. But surprisingly, Justin Fields didn't throw any interceptions today, which was, I guess, great. I mean, but man, he just he holds on to the goddamn ball too fucking long, man. Holy shit. And on top of that, it was a mediocre game. It wasn't really much, and I really thought the Falcons were going to win because look, we had issues in the wide receiving corps. George Pickens, no doubt, is our number 1 receiver, and I don't know if Calvin Austin III can step up. George Pickens is pretty much the only weapon we got on our wide receiving corps, and Roman Wilson was out in this game. Pat Freiermuth, I just. At this one point with Pat Freiermuth, it's just there's this one season we didn't target him at all the first half of the season, and that's just 4 receptions is not bad, 27 yards is not bad, but man, can you just give the ball to Pat Freiermuth more? I love the guy, man. And look, Najee Harris did okay, I guess, 20 carries, 70 yards, but man, we couldn't get a touchdown. It's chance after chance, and still we can't get a touchdown. It's just Chris Boswell's out there. It's great to see Chris Boswell, to be honest, hitting those 6 field goals, record breaking. And like I said, 4 of those field goals that, Chris Boswell hit was over 50 yards. And then, like I said, the wide receiving corps was not good. Looking at this 53-man roster, it was Van Jefferson barely did anything. 1 reception, only 1 yard. Calvin Austin, he only had 1 reception, 7 yards. These receivers, besides George Pickens, is not stepping up. And then, like I said, Roman Wilson was out. We'll see if he can do anything. That's pretty much it. In 6 of you got George Pickens doing all the work, but I mean, you got Pat Freiermuth, great, you're targeting the tight end, but that's just that, but anyways, not gonna talk too much about this game. The Pittsburgh Steelers get the job done 18-10 in Atlanta. And the great news about this is like we're the only team in the AFC North that won. Like the Bengals lost to the Patriots. I honestly don't know how that fucking happened. I actually thought the Bengals was gonna beat the Patriots, and then the Browns, they got absolutely stomped on by the Dallas Cowboys. And then it's just like, and then the Eagles, I mean, excuse me, the Ravens lost to the Chiefs. Excuse me, sorry. Oh my God, jeez, Weez. Where did Eagles come from? But you know, that's the great positive thing to see. It's like, oh, we're the only AFC North team to win. But you know, I just like this team. It's just look. I'm happy that we won, but I'm not satisfied because this team just can't. Just you had opportunity after opportunity. I say it again, I say it twice. This team had opportunities to get a touchdown, but they just couldn't. And all we had today was just field goals. And this was not a thriller. This was an embarrassing show of football. In general, I mean, the Falcons. I thought the Falcons were going to win, but in terms of the Falcons, they had a really rough game as well. I mean, like I said, I didn't really watch this game because I was at work, and what I heard was like, oh, there were some really, really questionable calls. I think a Falcons player, took someone's Steelers helmet off or should have been called. I don't know the full detail, guys, but I'm not going to talk too much about it. The Steelers are 1-0 on the season. They get the job done in Atlanta, beating the Falcons 18-10. And next week we travel to Denver, and I'm sure Russell Wilson is going to be hyped to facing his old team. So we play Denver next week. It's going to be great, I guess, but we'll see what happens. But anyways, I'm not going to talk too much about it. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 1-0. We beat the Falcons 18-10. My name is Bruin Steele. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and comment your favorite NFL team in the comment section. My name is Bruin Steele. This is my post-game video from the Steelers and Falcons, where the Steelers get the job done. And I will see you next time after when the Steelers play the Broncos. So yeah, that would do it, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys later.